But let's check with the expert. Brian Quinn with Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services is here with some tips.
Well, it looks like you did a good job of gathering items from around the house. Many times people are a little nervous about getting stuff around their house and starting an emergency response kit, but you've done a good job of bringing things together, and I think you've got a good start on that.
How about the food items? Did I choose the right things?
You do have some good items here. It's good to have protein sources like peanut butter. It's good to have things that are quick and easy to fix, and so things like soup are good. Canned items, things that are going to last over time and keep well and not spoil. You did a good job putting in the manual can opener. That's great. Something some people forget to throw in, and then they have to open a can and can't get to it.
I tried to pick nutritious foods. I would have loved to have just had candy bars and potato chips. My kids would have loved that, but that's probably not a good idea, is it?
Well, actually, it's not a bad idea. Of course, you can't live for 3 days on candy and snack food, but it is good to have that in your kit. We recommend that you have comfort foods in there to keep things familiar in unfamiliar territory, and it helps lift the mood. And so some candy bars and things like that are always good to have in a kit.
That's a great idea.
You also need to remember to throw in some games or other ways to pass the time, puzzles for the kids or electronic games or anything that's going to help keep your family's mind off the emergency and get through those days away from home.
I have 3 gallons of water here. Is that enough for all of us?
Now that's enough for you. You need to figure on 1 gallon per person per day.
Okay.
And so you have enough for you for the 3-day stay, but you have a family of 4. Mm-hmm. Is that right? Okay. So it looks like you're going to need to pick up some more water and have that on hand. You need to rotate your supply out about every 6 months to make sure you have a good fresh supply in a moment's notice when you need to leave the home.
So what about my non-food items? How did I do there?
Well, it looks like you have, again, a good variety. It looks like you have a blanket with some hats and gloves. Those are important things for cold weather. Emergencies can happen anytime, so it's good to be prepared for that. Things like toilet paper and paper towels for the obvious reasons. You have emergency communications with your radio. You have batteries, which is always good to have with your emergency kit. You have your flashlights. One thing I don't see here is a first aid kit, and that's really a key element to any emergency kit to take care of those cuts and scrapes and bruises that always seem to happen during an emergency. So you'll need to get one of those and put those in to have that ready.
Where do I put this in?
Well, I just happen to have a special gift for you today. This is a special Ready in 3 duffel bag, but really anything will work. You need something that will hold everything that you'll take along in an emergency, but not be so big that you can't move it or so small that everything won't fit in it.
One more trip to the store and I should have everything I need. Thanks so much, Brian, for being with us today. This was wonderful information.
An emergency can happen anytime, anywhere. So to really be prepared, you should have an emergency kit in your car as well. Not quite as big as the one for your home, but with a few of the same items. Things like a gallon of water, food, battery-powered radio, sleeping bag or blankets, flashlight, extra batteries, and first aid supplies. There are also a few car-specific items you'll want to have on hand in case of an auto emergency. Things like road maps, tire repair kit, jumper cables, and flares. It's also a good idea to take a portable emergency kit to work with food, flashlight, battery-powered radio, a copy of your family's emergency plan, change of clothes, and a comfortable pair of shoes in case of an evacuation. Nothing will slow you down like having to walk several flights of stairs in stiletto heels. At least that's what they tell me. The final step to being ready in 3 is to listen for information. But where does that information come from, and how can we trust that it's reliable?
No matter what situation occurs or where it takes place in the state of Missouri, you can rest assured that the state is ready and waiting at all times. The DHSS Department Situation Room is the central location for monitoring and reporting potential problems, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. All local public health agencies, doctors, hospitals, and law enforcement know to call the emergency hotline anytime they suspect there is a public health emergency or bioterrorism event. This computer system tracks the emergency rooms and hospitals across the state. And folks here are constantly monitoring many different things, ready to determine when they have an emergency on their hands. Should a crisis arise, Missouri's Department of Health and Senior Services works with the FBI, Homeland Security, the State Emergency Management Agency, local police, and others, including the governor, to determine the best response. The state of Missouri has plans in place for all types of crises, and state officials have conducted many practice drills for everything from chemical spills to lots of people getting sick and needing medicine at one time. But no matter what the type of emergency, a few things stay the same. The experts here always work with state and local law enforcement and also notify TV, radio stations, and newspapers.
CSR to OPI, over.
That's why it's important for everyone to listen for instructions.
So that's it. You know everything you need to know to be ready for anything.
Now we hope you will take matters into your own hands by creating a plan, preparing a kit, and listening for information.
And once you do, be sure to check your plan and your kit every now and then to make sure everything is still good.
Most of all, we hope you stay alert and remember that emergencies can happen anytime to anyone.
Local, state, and federal agencies have plans to protect us all, but you are responsible for your own safety.
And now you are just 3 easy steps away from being ready in 3.